There are some people who enter your life like a bad omen, and from the moment they arrive, nothing goes right. One problem ends and another begins. In today's movie, I'm going to show you exactly that. How one man turns Peter's life into absolute chaos, and no matter how hard Peter tries, he just can't escape him. At the beginning of the movie, Peter calls his wife and tells her about a strange dream. He says that while she was giving birth, a huge bear was sitting beside her, holding their sweet little baby in its lap, and chewing on the umbilical cord. What kind of nightmare is that? What does it mean? Don't worry, we'll find out later. After that, Peter wakes up, gets ready in a hurry, and heads to the airport. He needs to fly to Los Angeles because his wife could go into labor at any moment, and he wants to be there for the birth of his child. But the second he reaches the airport, disaster strikes. His car crashes into a taxi, and out of that taxi steps a drunk, messy, loud man named Billu. The moment their eyes meet, Peter's suffering officially begins. Billu apologizes casually, like it's no big deal, and when they both grab their luggage, they accidentally switch bags because they look exactly the same. During security checking, Peter is suddenly pulled aside and searched thoroughly. And guess what? Drugs are found in his pocket. Peter is shocked. He keeps saying, "This isn't mine. Our bags must have been exchanged." But now he has to face serious questioning before barely managing to board the plane. Unfortunately, fate isn't done with him yet. The seat right behind Peter belongs to none other than Billu himself. While placing his bag in the overhead compartment, Billu keeps bumping into Peter and irritating him. Then he smiles and says, "Oh, we meet again. Nice to see you." Peter's patience is already hanging by a thread. Billu hands Peter his bag. Just then, an announcement asks everyone to switch off their electronic devices. Billu loudly jokes about terrorists on planes. Peter tries to warn him to stop talking like that, but it's too late. A federal air marshal steps in, orders Peter to put his phone down, and when Peter argues out of frustration, he gets shot with a rubber bullet. Yes, shot. Both of them are dragged off the plane. After a long investigation, the officer finally apologizes to Peter. But the damage is done. His luggage has flown away without him, and his name has been placed on the no-fly list. Now he can't board another plane. All his money, credit cards, everything is inside that bag. His pregnant wife is waiting for him, and he's stuck. The officer simply tells him, "I believe in you. You'll manage." Manage? How? Out of desperation, Peter even tries to steal a car outside the airport, but he's terrible at it. And right at that embarrassing moment, Billu shows up again. He hands Peter his pet monkey. Yes, a monkey he casually brought on the flight, and insists Peter come with him. Peter refuses at first, but Billu sweet-talks him, saying, "Brother, I may not be a big man, but I have 90 friends on Facebook. I'll cover your expenses." And somehow, Peter ends up sitting in Billu's car. Peter prefers silence, but Billu loves talking nonstop. On the road, he keeps chatting, joking, and irritating Peter so much that Peter's head starts pounding. Billu reveals he wants to become an actor and shows Peter his portfolio photos, which he plans to present to a director in Los Angeles. Later, while eating at a restaurant, they check the map and realize the drive from Atlanta to Los Angeles is incredibly long. Billu also wants to stop at the Grand Canyon to immerse his father boss's ashes. His father loved coffee so much that his ashes are kept in a coffee can, in life and afterlife. On the way, Billu insists on stopping in Birmingham to pick up some medicine. Peter refuses, knowing exactly what that means. But Billu reminds him, "My car, my rules." He even mocks Peter, saying, "If you're in such a hurry, call Iron Man to fly you home." When Peter's wife calls, Billu grabs the phone and cheerfully says, "Don't worry, I'll deliver your husband safely." Peter is mortified. In Birmingham, they meet a strange woman who gives Billu some strong stuff, and soon he's completely high. That night, they try to check into a hotel, but they have no cash. Billu has already wasted his money. Peter asks his wife to send funds, but the money goes into Billu's account and his card is blocked. At the bank, Billu doesn't even have proper ID. The employee refuses to help and asks them to leave. Billu annoys him so much that the employee loses his temper and beats both of them up. Now Peter is furious. He's bruised, broke, and stuck with this disaster of a human being. With no money for a hotel, they sleep in the car. In the middle of the night, Peter wakes up because the car is shaking. Billu casually says he's relieving stress to sleep better. Peter has officially reached his limit. Even Billu's dog is just as chaotic. The next morning, while Billu goes to shower, Peter finally decides to escape. He throws Billa's luggage out of the car, ties the dog to it, and drives away. But then he notices the coffee can, boss's ashes. He stops, places the ashes by the roadside, and prays, God, please don't send him back to Earth again. But guilt takes over. His conscience won't let him do it. So he turns around and returns. Billu happily believes Peter went out to get coffee. They load the luggage back in and continue driving. Peter, exhausted, falls asleep. The dog sleeps, and with no one left to talk to, Billu also starts feeling sleepy. And then, disaster again. The car crashes off a bridge. Miraculously, Billu is completely fine, but Peter's arm is broken. And what does Billa say? Don't worry, I have car insurance. When Peter is finally discharged from the hospital, his arm in a cast and his patience completely shattered, he looks straight at Billu and says, Stay away from me, you jerk. Because of you, my bones are broken. And honestly, can you blame him? Just then, Peter's friend Derry arrives with his car to pick him up. Peter feels like he has been rescued from a nightmare. He says, Now my friend is here. I don't have to see your unlucky face again. In anger, he even kicks Billa's dog before getting into the car. But as they drive off, Derry says something unexpected. You're about to become a father. Karma comes back around. You shouldn't have kicked the dog. Go apologize. Reluctantly, Peter calls Billu over and says, If you want to come, sit in the back seat. And don't open your mouth unless I tell you to. And just like that, the chaos continues. On the way, Peter tells Derry the entire disaster story. They even purposely hit a pothole to annoy Billu in the back. Childish, yes. Satisfying, also yes. They reach Derry's house, but something feels strange. Derry talks oddly about Peter's wife, and Billa notices it too. Peter sees a photo of Derry and his wife. Derry casually says, We took this in February in Santiago. Didn't she tell you? Peter freezes. Billu quickly calculates and says, So, it's been almost 9 months since you saw your wife. Peter snaps at him to stay quiet. Suspicion begins to grow. Then comes the most disgusting twist. The coffee Derry serves tastes horrible. When asked about it, he calmly says he used coffee from the can in their car. Peter's heart drops. That was his father's ashes. Billu, heartbroken, tries to take the remaining ashes but slips and falls, crying like a child. Seeing this, Peter's anger softens. He helps Billu collect Papa Boss's ashes. For the first time, there's real understanding between them. They take Derry's Range Rover and continue toward Los Angeles. Billu, still emotional, says, Then he adds, I don't trust your friend. No one gives away a luxury car and money so easily. Peter, now suspicious, leaves a voicemail for his wife asking her to tell him the truth before anything is revealed in the hospital. At a gas station, Billu buys ridiculous sunglasses. Peter tells him to drive and remove them. But while driving, Billu secretly does drugs again. The tinted windows trap the smoke, and soon Peter and even the dog get high. In his hallucination, Peter thinks a giant bear is driving the car. Completely lost, they take a wrong turn and end up at the Mexico border. There's heavy traffic, no way to turn back. An officer asks for passports and notices their dilated eyes. As soon as the officer steps away, Billu tells Peter to give him the dog and the ashes, and suddenly speeds off, abandoning him. Peter is arrested and told he may spend life in a Mexican jail for illegal entry with drugs. But just when it seems over, Billu returns like an action hero. He crashes into the cabin holding Peter, creates chaos, and rescues him. The driving is wild, reckless, insane. The cabin detaches and flips, but Billu saves him. Peter, despite everything, feels grateful. Billu says softly, I promised your wife I would deliver you safely. Soon Peter's wife calls, angrily denying any affair with Derry. Peter feels relieved and drives faster. They reach the Grand Canyon, where Billa finally says goodbye to Papa Boss's ashes. Then Peter confesses he once tried to abandon him. Billu admits he stole Peter's wallet after the flight because he was lonely after his father's death. The moment of honesty quickly turns into another fight. Suddenly, Peter's wife calls. She's in labor. They rush back into the car. On the way, Billu finds a gun in the dashboard, thinks it's a lighter, and accidentally shoots Peter in the leg. Absolute madness. Panicking, Billu apologizes, even vomits on Peter out of fear, and then drives non-stop through the night. By morning, they reach the hospital. Peter limps inside. In confusion, he enters the wrong delivery room and faints. When he wakes up, Billa tells him, You have a baby girl, and I cut the umbilical cord. Peter suddenly remembers his dream about the bear chewing the cord, and realizes that bear was Billu all along. Billu says he has to leave to meet an agent and will wait for Peter's call. Later, we see that Billu actually becomes a comedian on a famous TV show. Peter and his family watch him proudly on television. Still, Peter wonders nervously, will this jinx stay in his life forever? And with that, the movie ends. If you enjoyed this explanation, don't forget to subscribe and show your support. I'll see you in the next movie recap. Until then, take care and